to meet you all and see you, and we'll be doing some introductions here in a moment. I would like to first, as we're kind of getting into this, I'm gonna share my screen here with you. Okay, let's do this. Okay, can someone give me like a verbal indication if you are able to see the screen okay?
Yep.
All right, thank you. So if you see at the top of this screen where it says menti.com, I'm gonna put this into the chat, but if you can all go to this website, and then I'm gonna give you the password to put in. So you're gonna use the code 9665543. So I'll give you all just a moment to get to that.
I can't open another, good morning, I can't open another website while this thing,
Oh, gotcha. No worry, if you can't, it's not like, this isn't gonna be a make or break, it's just a little activity we're doing, so no stress if it's not working, but thank you for letting me know. So folks are able to get there. We're just gonna do just one little thing here, but if you can't get to it, please not to worry. So welcome to Social Research for Social Change course, the spring term here, and it's decided to not go. There we go. So for those who are able to access this, you should be seeing, it's asking you a prompt at the top of what is the first words that come to mind when you hear the words social research. So I don't want you like to think about it, just what's kind of the first, you can put up to 3, do this up to 3 times of what's the words that first come to your mind. So I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. Okay, so it looks like we have survey, story, field, impact, qualitative, observation, people, community. With survey kind of winning out as the most one, but yes, these are all related to social research. We all have many different ideas of what social research means. You could tell that to 10 different people and you get 10 different definitions. But there are sometimes common things that we think about when we hear this word social research. And I noticed, and thank you all for filling out that pre-course survey. That was really helpful, just for me to have a sense of where everyone is at coming in. And I noticed that many folks put that you don't have experience with any social or participatory research methods, but then listed that you do have experience with things like doing interviews or surveys with focus groups, or histories, or participant observation, and that these are all different types of social research methods. So sometimes we might not think that we've necessarily engaged in this when very much we have, whether it's in formal or informal ways. So I'd be willing to bet that we all have some experience here that we are building from. So you're all already off to a head start on this. And so today, we're just gonna do some introductions, give you kind of a sense of what the course will be about, give you time for any questions. We're gonna keep it pretty light today. I know it's always kind of hectic when the first week's getting started and you're trying to kind of wrap your arms around what all of this is and your courses and juggling work and everything. So we will keep it kind of short and sweet and simple for today. So I am Julie Maldonado. I am on the central coast of California in the US, so the opposite side of the country from where a lot of the future generations folks are. I live on the ancestral homelands of the coastal Chumash people, and I serve as the associate director for a nonprofit, the Livelihoods Knowledge Exchange Network, Lichen, which is actually based out of Kentucky. A lot of the work is focused in the Appalachia region of the country, although my work is mostly, I work mostly on climate adaptation and mitigation with tribal communities across the country. And part of my role there, I also co-run a center out of kind of a atmospheric research institute in the US. So the center we run is the Rising Voices Center for Indigenous and Earth Sciences, and that's where a lot of my work kind of flows in and out of. And I also teach at the University of California, Santa Barbara, which is where we live, nearby there. And so for myself, my background is in public anthropology. In some ways, I feel like I'm a recovering anthropologist. In other ways, I use it very strongly in my work. And so I think it's important also to know kind of the disciplinary background from someone who's instructing, because that is also the lens that I teach through. So if I was a geographer or a sociologist or a historian or an economist, right, like you're going to get this would be a very different course, right? Still titled Social Research Methods. And so that is the lens that I bring to it. And so what I'd like to do to get to know each of you a bit, I'm going to put this in the chat. I'll kind of model it for what I'm asking you of your name, where you're zooming in from, your current job, activities, affiliations, describing something positive that you've witnessed, experienced, or done recently. I know that's a lot of struggling times, so it's also important of even those little positives. And then one fun fact about yourself you would like to share. So I was going, Julie Maldonado, zooming in from California. I just shared with you kind of my professional affiliations. Something positive recently. There's a very big trend during kind of stay-at-home orders here, where at least kind of in our neighborhoods, where people are painting rocks with like different kind of fun things on them, like ladybugs or butterflies, and kind of putting them around places for kids to find. And so we got a ladybug and a butterfly rock was left in front of our door the other day. And so my kids were very overly joyed as to this magical thing that appeared. One fun fact about myself, let's see here. I'm a runner. I usually run long distances, and recently had done a 30-mile run up in the mountains in California, which I feel like I might still be recovering from in some ways. So that is me. What I'm going to do is put into the chat here what I am asking, and then I will call you individually as I see you kind of up on the screen. And I will definitely get names wrong, and I apologize. So please just correct me when I do so. So I just put up on the chat what I'm asking of you, and I'll just call you off as I'm seeing you up here. So let's go, Kristen.
Yes, so my name is Kristen Doss. I am zooming in from southeastern West Virginia, which is kind of near university headquarters. I'm currently the executive director of the Snowshoe Foundation, which is like a community foundation based out of the area. I'm also the Pocahontas County Chamber of Commerce president, so working with a lot of small businesses right now. And Something good that I have seen lately. I've seen a lot more people getting outdoors in this area just due to COVID, which I really like. And I'm also a runner, I'm a marathoner, so I'm in that club. But yeah, and I have a dog. He's super cute. There he is.
My dog will most definitely be joining us for some of these as well, so they can virtually play together. Thank you, Kristen. June.
Yeah, my name is Jun Choi. I'm Korean, but I'm staying in Malawi currently. I'm working for one NGO named Good International. We're working for community development generally, and I'm the director of the position. And right, I don't know what is fun things, but I'm married. I have two kids, and one of my friend, when my friend just met our couple, they thought they asked us, "Are you international couple?" Because my face, I don't know. I'm Korean, and my wife is Korean, but it looks. They said, I thought you're from Indonesia or some other country, so they thought we are the international couple. So it's I used to hear that the question often, right? Anyway, it's nice to meet you. I'm very interesting to join, and I'm very glad to see you. Well, thank you.
Thank you, June. Austin.
So my name is Austin. I'm zooming in from Greer, South Carolina, which is a small town in the upstate of South Carolina. I'm probably about an hour near the border of North Carolina. So, and then not too far from the beach either. So good. You got mountains and the beach on either side. So current job, I'm a Vista with an agency called Greer Relief. We do a lot of assistance for the community financially, but also we do a lot of life skills classes, things like that. So we try to be a community connector too to other resources. Outside of this, I actually do some local like grassroots political work. So I'm always doing something. And then positive, I actually put a picture of my niece that was just born last week. So that's something positive that we're all getting used to. And fun fact,
I'm looking at the picture now.
What was that?
I'm opening up the picture. Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Yeah. She's so small. They finally found an outfit that actually fit her. So she's tiny. But let's see. Fun fact. I guess that would be mine right now. Just being an uncle is fun. So
it's a whole new world. Thank you, Austin. Robert.
Good morning. Very nice to meet you. My name is Robert Cavalier, and I'm zooming in from Colorado, a little metropolitan area between Boulder, Colorado, and Denver, Colorado. And I'm from Texas. I grew up here. I went to high school, went to college here, Colorado State University. That's my hat. And let's see, current job, I work for Boulder County. And I work in doing outreach for medical benefits for mountain towns and rural communities that don't have access to many services. And also liaise for other things. I never thought I'd be doing this job, but it's been very rewarding, and I've been doing it for 9 years. Let's see, something positive I've experienced or done recently. It's been a really good month. I would say just participating with this program was an incredibly positive thing because I've been thinking about these things for many years, ecological things, environmental concerns. I live in a community that's changed dramatically within the last 10 years because of population influx. And so we all know how that goes. It becomes a different society, and I'd like to see a society that's more integrated with nature. And I guess that leads into a fun fact about myself. It's almost like a stereotype here to be outdoorsy and fisherman and hiking and mountaineering and having a Siberian Husky, which I have. She's sleeping over there. And I love dogs. And I love, we've just introduced the gray wolf into our vicinity, actually, Boulder County and the mountains. That's really close to the metropolitan area. So not that I want to see one really close, but I'm really excited that they're here, and just glad to meet y'all.
Rob, actually, the program I co-run is out of National Center for Atmospheric Research at NCAR. So in non-COVID times, I am often in Boulder.
There's a really good hiking trail right after there.
It is my favorite place to go during a meeting break. Not to be over stereotyped, but
it's okay. It's a good stereotype.
Thank you, Robert. Shearing, is that how you pronounce it?
Oh yes, you call me Shearing. You pronounce it right, because many of the people cannot pronounce it right, because normally people call me Shearing and all kinds of pronunciations, but you actually pronounce it right.
Well, now I'm going to get it wrong probably from now on, just with that,
But it's easier to call me Dorji, because Dorji is my second name. It's not my family name, because in Bhutan we don't have family names. So it's just Shearing and Dorji are both my first names. So you can call me Dorji. Well, my name is Shearing Dorji in full. And I work in an NGO called Royal Society for Protection of Nature. And I am actually the chief of the ADM and HR division of this organization. And apart from that, I also happen to be the country coordinator for the Global Water Partnership. So we call it Bhutan Water Partnership. In the country office is Bhutan Water Partnership. And we have a regional office in Sri Lanka. And yes, of course, in Stockholm, we have our headquarters with this Global Water Partnership. Well, about the positive thing that I have witnessed is very recently, my sister passed away a few weeks ago. And I was in a cremation ground where we do all kinds of cremations. And I was just looking from that cremation ground, I was just looking at the other side of the mountain. Bhutan is a very mountainous country and we find mountains everywhere. So a few years ago, when I looked at that part of the mountain, it's all green. We have a lot of trees and, all kinds of trees grow there. It's very, all forest there. But the last time I went there, I saw all the trees have turned into, white trees. So white trees, I mean, in Bhutan, when somebody dies, you are supposed to, have prayer flags attached to trees. You cut down young trees and small poles and all. And then each person dies, and the custom and the tradition is you're supposed to hoist 108 trees attached to prayer flags. And because Thimphu is one of the most populated places in Bhutan, you find that all the mountains is covered with prayer flags, and it has become now not green forest but white forest there. So this was quite disheartening. So I was just thinking, well, if that is the case, in a few years' time, considering the population in Bhutan, it could actually cut down all the trees then, and then we will have no trees on the mountains there, which is a very sad story. So I was just thinking, what if we replace those prayer flag, the stands, the trees, by bamboos? Well, bamboos are easier to plant and grow. And they grow very fast. In 4 years' time, the height of the bamboo can be as long as a prayer flag. So you grow a lot of bamboos in the south of Bhutan, where the place is warmer. So maybe if you could have a project there and maybe plant a lot of bamboo trees and then maybe talk with the relevant forest officials in Bhutan and just make it mandatory for people to hoist their flags on the bamboos so that you don't have to cut down the trees. That was something that I have witnessed and something I thought of doing. Maybe I would like to do a small research on the use of bamboo in place of the trees and see what would be the impact on the forest. That's one thing.
That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
And the fun fact about myself is we had, as I said, my organization is called Royal Society for Protection of Nature. But basically what we do is as of now, we look after very endangered species, two endangered species. One is the endangered black-necked cranes, which has around maybe a little more than 3,000-4,000 numbers in the world, but it has actually come out of the endangered list, critically endangered list. It has now, they categorize it as vulnerable. And the other one is the white-bellied heron, as I was saying, which has less than 60 individuals in the world. And Bhutan has 29 of them. And we heard that there were around 6 or 7 in India and a few in Vietnam. We could not get the number from Vietnam. It was very difficult to get it from there because of their civil, the wars there before, and then all conflicts within Vietnam. It's very difficult to get the number. And also, I didn't hear anything about conservation of a white-bellied heron project in Vietnam. And this white-bellied heron is a very tricky population, which actually the bird, unlike other bird species, these birds cannot actually look after their young ones. So it's very difficult to increase the population. And it's now almost going extinct. And to lose that from the entire ecology of the world, I think it's going to be a shame for the whole population. So we are trying our best to actually conserve that. Okay. The fun fact that I was talking about was the black-necked crane part. We had an injured, because black-necked crane is a migratory bird. So they come to Bhutan in the winter and they fly back to China in summer. And their breedings are done in China. When they come to Bhutan, they come with their juveniles and the young ones. But unfortunately, one of the cranes got injured in Bhutan before flying back to China. Maybe 4 years ago, and its wings got multiple fracture. It could not actually fly. It cannot fly anymore. So we actually did put it in a aviary where it's being protected from other wild animals too. So it was actually here. It's very healthy, and it's been alone for 4 years, and the crane is a he, because we actually send the DNS to Japan to see whether the sex of the crane, and it's a male. And very recently, again, another is this year, one crane got injured. It was, I think, attacked by wild dogs or like that, and we could actually save the bird and put it with the other bird. The other bird was named Karma. Karma is a Bhutanese name, meaning star. So now the fun fact is Karma got a new wife because the other crane happens to be a female. So we are hoping that we could actually breed them. Maybe they could breed and maybe hatch maybe a few eggs and all. It would be very interesting to have our own cranes being hatched in Bhutan. It will be very interesting.
That is beautiful. You have to keep us posted on how they're coming along in their new relationship. Thank you for sharing that, Zoji. We have Amar. And I just saw Amar. It looked like you weren't able to hear. I don't know if you have. Maybe we'll see if Amar is able to come back. Maher, if you'd like to go.
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Maher. I'm from Tunisia. And actually, I'm working as country director with an international NGO called GAME, which is like using street sports and street culture as like a tool for community development. Besides my work, I'm a scout member for like more than 25 years. I started when I was like Cub Scout, and I'm still active with my local group, but also I worked for the National Tunisian Scouts organization, and I'm active on international level with some focus groups and some consultancy. Also, I'm very active with the civil society here in Tunisia, and especially I'm supporting in the local governance with the municipality and the different local authorities. For the positive that I experienced recently, I started like new project with my scout group, which is like about like making music accessible to everyone. So we are offering different instruments and different like sessions for the kids and even for the adults, and to come and to try like the instruments and even like to learn how to play music. This is one of our recent projects that we are doing here with my scouts. And the funny fact, I'm sharing this same thing almost with Austin. I became like uncle for the first time in my life, like 4 days ago. So my sister got like a girl. So this is like something like very positive and happy. I'm sharing that with Austin also here. Yeah.
Congratulations to your family.
Thank you.
These are all good things. Thank you. And I'm very sorry if I mispronounced Melchiad.
Hello everyone. My name is Manakiza Melchiad. I live in Burundi. Burundi is located at East African Community, and as a job activity, I'm a teacher at a high teacher training school, and I'm also a secretary of a good neighborhood community. I'm also a student at Future Generation University in master degree. This is my second semester at that university. As a positive activity, I pay school fees to a child who his family is poor, is unable to pay school fees. As a funny, I don't know if I can tell a story or a funny, yeah, a story.
Yeah, please.
Okay. One day, a drunk man returns to his home late in the night, and because he has a lot of drunk, he loses all landmarks, unable to reach his home. When he asks for help, he cried loudly, and folks in the surrounding arrive. The man begins to explain what happens. He says, when I was in the beverage, some person asked me how to offer them a beer. I refused it, and I realized that those jealous person has stolen my quota, where is located in my house, and I don't find my house. One person among the folk says, "Come, Come on, I'm going to show where your house is hidden. That's my story.
Thank you for sharing that. And this is always a place to share stories, so please do so. Thank you. Next we have Carissa.
Good morning. I am Carissa. I'm zooming in from Cranston, Rhode Island, in the US. I'm currently an AmeriCorps Vista leader with the Swearer Center, which is a public service center at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, but currently virtual, so I haven't actually been in office throughout my whole service so far, and I started in June. Something positive I have experienced. So it's been snowing a little bit here, and I actually went sledding for the first time in like years. And it was really like nice snowing conditions. It was pretty cold, but it was fun, and I like felt like a child again, just like having a good time. And then one fun fact about myself is that I can play the flute, and I really enjoy like all kinds of music, especially, but that is one instrument I can actually play.
Now you put it out there, we have high expectations of what
Please, I like need the accountability actually, because I haven't like played in a actual setting. Like I have a flute from like high school, and that was probably the last time I played in a group setting. So every once in a while I'll pick it up to make sure I like can still play a scale and read music and everything. But that is something that I like kind of want to rediscover in my adult life. So yeah, maybe by the end of the semester, who knows?
I'm teaching my older daughter keyboard right now, and I'm learning it's not like riding a bike, and amazing how much I spend learning with her. Thank you for sharing, Trissa. Ledette. Ledette, if you're there, you are on mute. Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Hi. So yeah, my name is Ledette. I'm zooming in from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, which is in East Africa. Currently, I am working on opening my own, with a partner, my own nonprofit organization, which is still in the process. Also, I'm, as Mahir said, I'm also in scouting. I've been a scout since I was a Cub Scout as well. I've been actively participating in local groups and as the International Commissioner for Ethiopia for about 5 years. But now I got voted into the Africa Scout Committee. So I work basically on, the Africa level. So with that, I'm more engaged in the youth engagement aspect. So I'm in charge of youth engagement in Africa, which is at the heart of the movement, and also growth in Africa. And also basically because I'm from East Africa, I'm in charge of the East Africa member organizations. Something positive. Well, for me, it's something that I found very positive last week, which is there are about 4 kids that I support around my area that are from low income. They're actually, when they're not going to school, they're on the streets begging and everything. So I help with whatever I can, but they had never, although they ask assistance of other people, because I volunteered to help them, they somehow find it difficult to ask me for anything. So anytime I hand them anything, it's like, oh no, we don't need it, or oh no, we're good. And I used to find that very sad, because if I didn't offer, they would have asked and I would be able to give them. But last week they came and asked me of the different school materials that they were required to bring. So they were telling me what they were learning and what they needed and everything. And I found that, like, I felt like we're one step closer to, being open. And I felt like now they trust me and they're involved with me. So I was very happy with that, and I was very excited. So I think that's something positive that I witnessed. Fun fact at the moment is my brother and his wife decided to put my nephew in a German school, international school. None of us speak the language. So because sometimes I have to help him study, I am currently learning German with him. So he's faster than I am, and he's 3 years old. It's disappointing, but it's fun.
That's a great way to learn a language. Thank you for sharing that. Amar, if you're still there. Okay.
Namaste. Right now I'm zooming from Kathmandu, Nepal. Nepal is between China and India. It's small, beautiful, and mountain country. And I usually live in west south Nepal. It is 500 kilometers from Kathmandu, and the place is Nepalganj. In Nepalganj, my office and working area is in Nepalganj, and my house is in Kathmandu. So I frequently visit in Kathmandu with my family, and my most of time I live in Nepalganj, my working area. I am working as an executive director with an NGO named Sahakarmi Samaj. Sahakarmi Samaj is working with poor marginalized people in rural area of Western Nepal. We have covered about 1,200 community groups of 10 different districts in Western and South Western Nepal. And yeah, the positive things, last month I visited rural communities 2 weeks, and I found community members are doing very great job. They are using their local resource to address their issues and to solve their problems, and they have very good practice working together, help each other, and support collectively to the needy and vulnerable people. And the funny things, last month I bought a puppy, a Tibetan Mastiff. I bought it from the China border, and it was very lovely. And me and my daughter, my wife, when we went outside of the home, someone stolen that, and my daughter weeping 2-3 days, and she was really cry, and she felt very bad. So it was my funny story.
Oh, puppy. Well, I hope there's a puppy upon us soon. Thank you for sharing, Amar. We have Gunjan, if you're able to unmute.
Yeah. So hi everyone, my name is Gunjan. I'm currently zooming in from the state of Rajasthan in India. So I'm basically from Maharashtra, where like my parents are like staying and they're working in NGO. But for my job, I am relocated to Rajasthan. So in Rajasthan, like so I am working with an non-profit organization called Action Research and Training for Health, which basically working with rural tribal community to improve women's health. So I'm working there, and something that I positive that I witnessed recently is that like I have been telling my mother to start working somewhere, because like she had experience of like working in an NGO, but she wanted to do something else. So last week, finally, she has applied for a consultancy in government post, and yeah, she got that position. So that is a positive thing that had happened for me. And the fun fact about myself is that I love playing cricket, which is not the national game of India, but very famous in India. And yeah, I mean, I'm very happy to be back, this semester. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Gunjan. And yeah, it was really neat to hear a lot of what you all are doing, and of a big part of this course is not to start you off on something new, but to think about where you already are, in the work you're doing in your communities, in your organizations. For the VISTA folks, you were bringing me back to, I was a National Civilian Community Corps, AmeriCorps member once upon a time. So remember the khaki and gray very well. But a lot of this is really, it's thinking about what you're already doing. That what can now, different ways to look at maybe problems you're seeing, issues that are arising, that questions you have, that what is it that you're seeing that you want, that needs transformative change. This is about not just methods for methods' sake. It's about how can we really employ social research methods for social change. And so I hope that you can take some of what we talk and learn about and talk through together, and you all have something to share here. I see myself more as kind of facilitating a conversation, that we're all equally here as peers. And so I hope as we kind of journey on through this together the next few months, that you will all share from, I'll share from some of my experiences, and I'll be sharing from yours, from past and current, and what you hope to be doing. I'll also say, I think I failed to mention on the other side of this wall, whenever we're in class now, is my kids are having breakfast with daddy. It's breakfast time here. So I have a 3-year-old and 7-year-old daughter, so they will most likely be making appearances as well at different times of the class. So I'm just gonna share my screen with you one more time here real quick. That just so we're kind of all on the same page in terms of the values and expectations for this course. So one of the key values that I hope we can agree to hold is we value a diversity of views and opinions. We speak without judgment or argument. That we share the air. We all have something to learn and something to share. That we're considerate, respectful, and collaborative in both our speaking and listening. That we are active and engaged listeners. This is very important both within this class and also in carrying out social research. Being an active listener is really critical. Being an active participant. We are all here to engage together. And I did not just make these up, these are adapted from the program that I co-run. And so I just want to be sure that we're kind of all on the same page as to be, respectful for diversity of views that we all bring to this work. And so I know we have just a few minutes left. I kind of wanted to just go over very cursory kind of what this course is about, and what we'll be doing together, and kind of the next steps. We'll have the weekly Zoom sessions. Of course, will be a mixture of kind of short lectures, just discussions, peer-to-peer learning, knowledge exchanges, and allowing time to kind of check in and go over any questions. We'll keep the sessions to an hour max. It might go 5 minutes over today, but we'll try to keep them to an hour max. And I do understand extenuating circumstances. The expectation is that you are here as much as you can be. If you ever need to miss a Zoom session, you'll see at the top of the course Moodle page that there is kind of a make-up attendance policy to watch the Zoom and respond. But do please try to attend. A lot of, this course is really built around engagement in our time together here. And this is where I hope you'll get a lot out of that peer-to-peer exchanges as well. So I do encourage you to prioritize being here as much as you can. You'll notice also on the syllabus in the middle page, my office hour is Thursdays, an hour after this class is over. That you go on the calendar, it kind of has a link where you make an appointment. I do that just because when I haven't, inevitably like 3 people are there at the same time. And so that doesn't work so great over Zoom. So that way, you can be sure that there is time available. That is a completely arbitrary hour that might not work for folks. So also if please always just email me if you want to find a time to meet. That's a reserved time, but I recognize it's, likely not great for many folks. So just send me a message and we'll find some time to meet together. Also to know, whenever times are used for the course, they're US East Coast time. Because the world seems to be very US East Coast centric, but really it's because that's where the university is headquartered. And so we just default to that as our kind of common time zone. So when you do see times, I try to put Eastern time, but just to note, it's the university time. And you'll find the process for each week. After we meet, I will email you out kind of what the process is for the coming week, but you'll also have it week by week on your Moodle page. So if you're ever lost or, it's like, okay, what do I need to be doing here? You go to that week for the Moodle page and it'll step you through the process. Let me turn to this real quick. For your syllabus, everyone was able to access the syllabus okay? Yes, good, okay. So the main emphasis of this course is what we're working towards by the end is developing a social research methods proposal. And I want you to think about this not just as an exercise for this class, but I want you to think about it. When I've done this class before, we did full research projects and stuff where we're actually doing the project here. I switched it this time in large part because of COVID and knowing, if it was going to be challenging for folks to really get out as much as they could. And so what I want you to do really though is hold in mind, work that you want to really be doing, that you're not just putting a proposal together for this class, that you're doing this with the thought of what is work that I actually want to be carrying out and moving forward, and then having opportunities to do so after this course. And so I want you to look at it not just as an exercise to fulfill a requirement for here, but think about it in your own communities, in the work that you're doing and what you're engaging with. What are those research questions that are emerging? What is something that you're seeing that you want to work to address? And so that's what, that I'm hoping you'll take kind of this opportunity to dig into that so that by the end of this course, you could feel prepared to really carry that work out. So we're kind of getting to the point, we'll do some, exercises, and activities to actually employ some of the social research methods, but that by the end of this, you'll have kind of that proposal, have those tools available to feel like you could really carry that work forward. So I do hope you look at it not just for this course, but for how to move your own and your community's work forward. I do want to share with you just real quick here. The course syllabus is up on the page. I'm not gonna read through it for you. You know, my expectation is that everyone is reading the syllabus and getting a full understanding of the course. The thing I wanted to point out was this week is a little bit different of what I'm asking you to do, and I'll explain that in a second. But typically what we'll do is, so if you go down to the second week, the way that the syllabus is structured is it has the date for our Zoom session. So like for next week, the 18th, it has, you know, what we'll be focusing on that day. And then it has the readings that you're to be doing. Now I'll explain this week because this week is the exception. But after this week, every week you will have your assignment for that week will be due on the Monday, and then we have class on Thursday. So for this coming week, so this Monday, you have this assignment due where you're posting a question for Dr. Taylor. What you're doing is, you know, the idea is that you'll be doing that reading, that you'll be doing the assignment, submitting that by US East Coast time, Monday night, in preparation for our Thursday class. So that's kind of the rhythm of it. So Monday nights are when you're submitting things, and then Thursday is our class time. Is that making sense to folks? Maybe yes. Okay, hopefully yes. So this week is the one exception, and it's only because we're meeting today, and what I would really like for folks to do, so part of your participation grade, I'm asking you to do by tomorrow night, and I know this is very short, but it's a very, very short thing I'm asking you to do, that you have in the course Moodle site, you have at the top of the course Moodle page, you have a folder that says assignment instructions. You also have them under each week. If there's an assignment, it'll state the instructions. But if you ever want more, like in the syllabus, I just give a really short summary of the instructions. So I want you to go through the syllabus and understand kind of, okay, here's general expectations of the types of things we're gonna do. The full instructions are at the top of the course Moodle page under that folder assignment instructions. Now for tomorrow, so this is the week that's the exception, that I'm asking you to do something to submit tomorrow night, and this again is in your assignment instructions. I'm asking you to set your intention for this course. And this is just, you know, one paragraph, a few sentences I'm asking you to submit. So normally I wouldn't ask this kind of turnaround, but it's to help kind of build my understanding as well, what you hope to get out of the course. So I'm asking you to send a statement that submit it in the course Moodle site, where you're setting an intention that describes a goal for how you intend to experience and get the most out of the course and engage in the course material and with your peers and with myself. And consider what you look forward to learning about and how you might apply what you're learning. And so if you can, just take a few moments to kind of sit with this and submit it on the course Moodle site by tomorrow evening. And that is part of your participation grade. Robert, I saw your message, and I would laugh at Blacksburg. My husband was a Hokie, Virginia Tech grad, so holds a special place in our heart. So that is kind of the gist of it for the class. As I said, we'll have some assignments that build us up towards doing that social research methods proposal, where I will be asking you to do some specific methods. We'll be doing transect walk. I'm going to be having you do an interview, transcribing it. We'll talk about how to qualitatively code an interview. We'll be doing some of these activities, but that we're building towards developing this proposal together. That you're each doing, figuring out what your research question is, honing that down, and really developing that through the course. And so as it comes time to kind of getting closer to the assignments, we will go through them together in full. And so I will, soon after the class, I'll send you out a notice as to here's a reminder for what's coming up. Also always go to the course Moodle site for that week to see the process. And please be sure to read through the full syllabus and then come prepared with any questions you have on it. Please read through the assignment instructions. So in that assignment instructions folder at the top of the course Moodle site, the best thing is kind of just to give a read through now at this point to know what the expectations are, what will be coming up over the next few months. Also, so you can plan accordingly in your own lives, look ahead as to, okay, is there a bigger assignment coming up that's going to be a really crazy week for you? So I do encourage you to look ahead and prepare. And next week, so I did ask you to get a head start on that participatory action research reader. Next week, we will have a guest speaker with us who's actually the executive director for my organization, Dr. Betsy Taylor, and talking through, and she'll probably relate to a lot of you in many ways. She grew up between Appalachia and India, and so a lot of cross connections there. And she'll be talking to you about an idea around this action research cycle to under kind of, we're kind of at this big kind of 30,000 foot level right now. So to kind of talk through of what this cycle that she's helped develop to understand kind of what action research can look like in a very holistic approach. So that'll be kind of some of our starting framework. And so with that, I think we will stop for the day. I know we are going a bit over. And so just, are there any kind of initial questions that are coming to mind?
Well, I have a question. I think about the artifact one, setting your intentions. I remember the first time I just opened the Zoom, the syllabus, and I thought this was supposed to be done immediately. So I just sent my intentions maybe 2-3 days ago. I have actually already posted it there. So I thought whether it will be okay or do I have to send it again?
Oh no, if you're ahead of the game, that's always better.
Well,
So yeah, if you ever do anything ahead, let it be there. That's great. Yeah. That's a great question. So the quickest path to Moodle. So what I do is I go to learn.future.edu, and I'll put that in here. And then you should be able to log in from your Future.edu email address. So that's just kind of the bookmark shortcut that I have, which is probably faster than the FGU website. Other questions? All right, well, thank you all. It's just, the sun has just risen here, so my day is starting. Well, I hope for some of you, you had a good one and have a good evening, and others who are kind of in the middle, hope you have a good rest of the day. And just be in touch with any questions between now and next Thursday. And otherwise, I will see you back here then. All right, everyone, take care. Bye.